Before we continue on, I have to issue a warning. The exercises that you're about to discover could cause you to significantly increase your strength, confidence, and independence as you age. You've been warned. Hey, it's Jack and Alicia from Be Mobile, and we are physiotherapists who specialise in exercise for adults aged 55 and over.
And from our experience, we know that to maintain your independence, you have to work on your strength, fitness, and balance. That's what we're going to do right now with these 4 exercises. Okay, let's take a look at the deadlift. All a deadlift is picking up an object off the ground, which is something we all do a lot in everyday life. It might mean picking up shopping bags, your grandchild, some mulch in the garden. We all need to pick things up. But however, the deadlift is an exercise a lot of people avoid out of fear. But let's break through that fear by having a look at the deadlift and what it is. I'm firstly going to use a kettlebell. And the way I'm going to set up for the deadlift is 1 foot either side, handle in line with the middle of my foot. I'm grabbing the handle and I'm simply standing up like this. Nice proud chest at the top, touching the kettlebell in between my feet and standing up and down like this. So this is a great exercise for really building strength in the back of my legs, in my hamstrings, in my glutes, and in my lower back. I'll show you from side on as well. When I'm deadlifting, I'm thinking of bowing down in terms of getting my chest towards the floor, touching the kettlebell on the ground, and then coming back up to a fully upright position like that. Now, you don't need to worry too much about having a straight back or being really particular in terms of the way you do the deadlift. You just really want to pick it up like that. Now, I'm using a kettlebell. You can also use a backpack. I've got a backpack with a few books in it here. And exactly the same way, I can touch it on the ground and then come to a standing upright position like that. Now, if for whatever reason you find it difficult to get all the way down to the ground, that you might not have enough strength, your lower back might be a little bit sensitive, you can use a block or a couple of books to reduce your range of motion, which makes this exercise easier. So as you can see, I'm not going all the way down to the ground. Conversely, if you're coping really well with the deadlift, managing it and perhaps even finding it easy, the thing to do then is to increase your weight. So fill up your backpack with some more books or whatever you're putting in it, or select a heavier weight to use. Now, in terms of how much should you do, we recommend doing 3 rounds of 10 challenging repetitions. So that's the deadlift. Give it a go.
How many times in your daily life do you have to step over objects that are on the ground, be it your grandchildren's toys, or maybe you're on a hike and you just step over a big log? It happens a lot and we need to prepare for it to stay independent. So this exercise is very simple. I've got a little hurdle here I've procured from the gym, and I've also just got a cork block, which we also have lying around. But you could use any objects. Now, I'm going to start with a chair for a bit of assistance. It could be a bench at home. That's a nice, easy starting position. And I'm just going to put that in front of me. Now, to make it harder, you simply get a bigger object, which is why I've got the hurdle there. But start with a nice low object. Simply step over, just like that, and step back. Okay, you can use that chair for assistance if you need to start. Now, if you're really confident with that, well then get the chair out of the way, get the hurdle out of the way, and then you can start to do that and keep the leg off the ground. Okay, so that's going to be the next level. We're making that a little bit more difficult by balancing on a single leg, stepping back and forth, making sure that we're trying both sides. Okay, now the way to make that even harder is to use a taller object, and you'll see just a minute here how much harder this is, because I'm having to do a much bigger step and spend much longer with one leg in the air. Okay, so that's going to be a lot harder. Now you can do that forwards like I was just doing then, but you might have to step over things to the side in life as well, which is why that's important to do. Once again, you can bring your foot down, and to make it harder, keep that foot in the air, getting some extra balance and working on the strength in our hips as well, which is the great thing about this exercise. Okay, so I recommend doing this for 3 lots of 60 seconds with the forwards version, and once again 3 lots of 60 seconds with the sideways version. You'll be much more confident stepping over objects in your daily life. Quick word before we reveal the final 2 exercises. You'll notice that all the movements we're showing you mimic daily movements very closely, and this is purposeful. Take the deadlift we've just shown you, for example. If you're able to lift 3 sets of 10 repetitions with, say, 20 kilos, think about then going into your daily life and lifting, say, a 10-kilo pot in the garden, or maybe a 10-kilo grandchild. It's going to be much easier. So by getting stronger in our workouts, all of our daily tasks become easier.
Okay, now we have the split squat. So I'm splitting my feet and dropping my back knee down towards the floor. This is a great exercise for getting up off the ground, which is another thing that people avoid. But we don't want to avoid it because, as we know, it's use it or lose it. We want to maintain your ability to do this. So with the split squat, I'm concentrating on keeping my body upright because it makes it easier on my balance as opposed to leaning forward like this. And I'm dropping my back knee down towards the floor. Now, something you can do for a bit of feedback is pop a couple of cushions on the ground and aim to get your back knee down to touch those cushions. Now, as you can see, I'm using a chair because this exercise requires quite a bit of balance, and it can be easier to start by holding onto a secure object. Now, we have to remember to change sides as well with the split squat, and I can really feel this in my legs, my quads. Really good exercise for building that leg strength. And as you can see, the movement is basically driving myself up from the floor. If you start to feel confident and like you could do this without support, we can get rid of the chair, and in exactly the same way, I'm going to go up and down like this, dropping that back knee down, which requires more balance without a support. And I'm starting to get a bit of a puff going with this one. Now, if you want to increase the difficulty from there, we can add some weight. So we can do this in a number of ways. I've got a backpack here, and I also have some dumbbells. So I'd pick one or the other to start with, but you could do both. I'm going to split my feet like that and dropping that back knee down towards the ground and back up. So a really challenging exercise, great for balance, great for leg strength, and it'll really help you in terms of your ability and confidence to get up from the floor. How much should you do? 3 by 10 challenging repetitions on each side.
Do you ever dread carrying the shopping into the house, or maybe carrying your luggage whilst on holidays? Well, if so, dread no longer, because we're going to do some carries. A really simple exercise. Not easy, but simple. You're going to get 2 weights in your hands. We call these farmer carries. And all we're going to be doing is either marching on the spot or walking up and down your hallway or wherever you've got space whilst carrying some heavy, challenging weights. It's going to really challenge your grip strength, which is one of the key things you're going to need for carrying items, but also your shoulder and torso strength. Nice simple exercise, you can see, but you can also use other items from around the house, such as a backpack like we've been using, and you could do a single-sided farmer carry where we're just holding it in one hand. Once again, really feeling the challenge in your grip strength. So definitely try farmer carries if you want to get stronger at picking up all the things and lugging them around with you that you need to do in daily life. Make sure you do 3 sets of 60 seconds if you can handle that long, or a challenging amount of time similar to that.
If you know someone who could benefit from these exercises to maintain their independence, share this video with them by clicking the share button below.